What is going on, guys? UFC 315 has just ended, and this is going to be my mostly full card post-fight reactions and thoughts. Starting off with the first fight I watched of the night, Marc-Andre Barriault versus Bruno Silva. Marc-Andre Barriault wins via first round KO, TKO finish, where live, everybody thought that Barriault had broken Bruno Silva's skull. Fairly uncompetitive fight. I want to say Bruno Silva quit, but that shot, that elbow that got landed on him, that would make anybody quit. Fortunately, let me rephrase that. They did keep updating during the whole card on what was going on with Silva. Everything was clear. Everything was good. But he's probably going to need to be cut from the UFC, honestly. I think he was on like a 3 or 4 fight losing streak coming into this fight. This either puts him on a 4 or 5 fight losing streak. He doesn't belong in the UFC. I feel bad for him to go out in that fashion. We'll get into that later on in this video. But Barriault was almost in the same position as well. So, honestly, if he loses one more fight, I would say cut Marc-Andre Barriault as well. Moving up the card. Decent fight. We have a Navajo Sterling versus Ivan Erslan. Oh, okay. This fight was somewhat tricky to score. I'm trying to remember what round it was. Because I think I almost gave Erslan the first. No, I didn't. I think I'm getting this fight and a different fight mixed up. Because I'm pretty sure that he won via unanimous decision. I'm going to pull up the scorecards real quick. Okay, no he didn't. He won via 29-28. So this was the fight I was thinking of. So 2 of the 3 judges gave Erslan the first round. I think I gave it to him live. I'm pretty sure I gave Erslan the first round live. I don't think I was tweeting about it yet. Then I gave Sterling the second and the third round. He was able to find his rhythm better in those rounds. Erslan wasn't able to get the grappling off at all. I would thought that he would have had the grappling advantage, but Sterling in moments did show that he was better in the grappling department. And really, especially in the third round, he was really smooth with his transitions and keeping position when he had Erslan hurt very badly. Not a bad fight. I don't rate Erslan very well, so I really don't know what this win means. I think Erslan's definitely a step up in competition from his last fight from Tuco Tokos. But, yeah, I think he's going to need to go through a little bit better competition. Moving on to the next fight. Modestas Bukauskas versus Ion Cutelaba. I'm going to be 100% honest. I thought Ion Cutelaba won this fight. I'm an Ion Cutelaba fan. And no bias there. No bias there. I really did think he won the fight. I gave Cutelaba the second and third round. No, first and second round. I gave Cutelaba first and second round. I gave Bukauskas the third round. And the judges' scorecards, I got them pulled up on my phone. They are absolutely everywhere, which they were this whole night, absolutely everywhere. So one judge gave Ion the first round and Bukauskas the second and third. Another judge gave it all 3 rounds to Modestas Bukauskas, and one judge gave it all 3 rounds to Ion Cutelaba. I gave Ion Cutelaba the second and third round. I thought he landed the better shots in those rounds. Did more damage as well. But, that's a pretty, again, I don't know how accurate those total striking stats are, but pretty bad, if you ask me. I'm going to leave it at that. This wasn't that important of a fight. Moving on. Jessica Andrade versus Jasmine Jasudavicius. Jasudavicius beats her via rear naked choke in the first round. I think I might have picked Jasudavicius to win via decision. I I forgot to put my Tapology picks in. I always forget to put my Tapology picks in, especially with pay-per-views. I don't know why I forget to do it. I first thought about it. I should have picked Jasdavicius to win via submission in the first round because Andrade is going. She was going up to flyweight. She always bounces back and forth between strawweight and flyweight. Terrible idea. I understand she could be more active that way, but she's already a small for flyweight or for strawweight. Going up to flyweight against Jasdavicius, the size difference was very clear and apparent. The grappling differential was very clear and apparent. Jasdavicius was way better in the grappling department. Andrade really had nothing. I mean, it says she landed 4 strikes. I would probably believe that. She really didn't do much. It did not take very long for Jasdavicius to close the distance and was able to get Andrade down and get her back. There were a few times where she was trying to get the rear naked choke and Andrade was able to defend it, but Andrade had nothing to offer. Outside of a little bit of defense, she had nothing to offer. And I think Jasdavicius is probably 1 fight away from a title shot. Depending on what they do with Shevchenko, if they want Weili and Shevchenko to fight to let Weili move up and try to get double champ status, then I think you do Jasdavicius versus Silva, who fought later on the card. If not, I'll look up some cool matchups for Jasdavicius in the meantime. But yeah, clearly 1 fight away from a title shot. If she can get a win there, she's probably next in line for a title shot after Silva. Moving up, the featured prelim. We have Mike Malott versus Charles Radke. Mike Malott KOs Charles Radke in the second round. If I remember correctly, he hurt him at the tail end of the first round as well. Clipped him with something. He didn't drop him or anything, but it stunned him. The first round, I mean, Radke really didn't have much success. He did land a few shots in the first round, and the few shots he did land did bust up. Like this, there's no way Radke only landed 10 strikes. I think he landed way more than 10 strikes. And for Malott, I think he landed more than 36. But Radke did ding up Malott's face a little bit. See if I can find an interview. Yeah, he did get his face dinged up a little bit in that fight. So he didn't come out at 100% unscathed. Like Jasdavicius came out of that fight 100% unscathed. No damage at all whatsoever. But yeah, Mike Malott thinks he's totally redeemed himself after getting dogged on by Neil Magny. I can't unsee it. You will always be the guy that could not beat Neil Magny to get into the top 15. Was this Neil Magny's last win? This might have been Neil Magny's last win. That's hilarious. The win doesn't really mean much. I didn't really rate Charles Radke that high. I know I picked him to win first round KO. I thought he would go out there, be aggressive, and put Mike Malott down like a little bitch, like that he is. But didn't do that. Hopefully gets some a step up in competition in his next fight, and someone can beat his ass. I would love to see that. But moving on, opening up the pay-per-view. This was a shit fight. I would rather have Mike Malott, Charles Radke on the pay-per-view. 100% on. I would rather had Jessica Andrade, Jasmine Jasdavicius on the pay-per-view. They should have swapped it out. We have Benoit Saint-Denis versus Kyle. I'll say it right. Propolic. We're gonna call him Kyle. First round. I want to say it didn't take very long. Within a minute, BSD had Kyle down in grappling positions and was able to out-grapple him for the entirety of the first round. He had no ability to get back up to his feet after he was taken down. Easy 10-9 for Benoit Saint-Denis in the first round. I would not give him a 10-8. Although he did control him for almost the entirety of the round, he really didn't do that much damage. He was mainly fishing for a rear naked choke and kept trying to sink it that he couldn't get. But yeah, easy round for the first one for Benoit Saint-Denis. Going to the second round. Listen, I know Benoit Saint-Denis got the finish in the second round. He got a finish by arm triangle. He was getting hit and clipped by Kyle Prolik. If I can say his name right, I don't know. Sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, man. But he's getting clipped on the chin by Kyle. Kyle's like, I think I'm 100% honest right now. I think I would have put up a better fight versus Benoit Saint-Denis than Kyle did. Like, no disrespect to Kyle. I've never fought a day in my life. I'm a white belt in jiu-jitsu. But, like, his striking, it looked terrible. It looked absolutely terrible. It looked slow. It looked awkward. It looked clunky. Cut him. Cut him from the UFC. And Benoit Saint-Denis, on the mic afterwards, says, I'll fight you, Gamrot. Like, dude, he accepted the fight to fight you on 2 weeks' notice, and you turned him down. What he wants is a full training camp for Gamrot. Specifically, he wanted to get back in the win column, get his double paycheck, and then have a full training camp versus Mateusz Gamrot. I don't know if I want to give him that fight. I don't know. Benoit Saint-Denis literally beat a bum. Kyle does not deserve to be in the UFC. I'm sorry to Kyle. Sorry I'm throwing all this shade at Kyle. But from that performance, again, I know he took it on, a week or 2 weeks notice. Give him another chance. Okay, whatever. Give him another chance. But he has a lot that he needs to improve on after that performance. Cut both of them, honestly. I mean, it was terrible. Terrible performance. Benoit Saint-Denis was supposed to go out there and finish him in the first round, and he couldn't even do it. Moving on. We have Alexa Grasso versus Natalia Silva. Natalia Silva wins the unanimous decision. She won all 3 rounds. Alexa Grasso had absolutely nothing to offer. Absolutely nothing to offer. The best that she had to offer was she would get beat the fuck up and keep moving forward and throwing punches. She threw a couple of kicks in this fight. Like, I think after seeing her fight someone else besides Valentina Shevchenko, I think I'm ready to say that was 100% a fluke win over Valentina Shevchenko. She was losing the first fight. Shevchenko gets out of position, gets her back taken, and loses. The second fight, I thought it was very clear win for Shevchenko. Very clear win. If one judge, I think it was Mike Bell, would have just not scored a 10-8 for Grasso in the 5th round, which I gave that round to Shevchenko, Valentina would have already been champion again. And then in the third fight, clear domination for Valentina Shevchenko over Alexa Grasso. I don't even know if Grasso is top 5 flyweight in the current, who you have coming up at flyweight. I'd pick Jazz Davicius to beat her. Hint, hint, I might be putting them together next. I'd probably pick Jazz Davicius to beat her. Obviously, Natalia Silva just beat her. I'd pick Erin Blanchfield to beat her. I'd pick Manon Fior to beat her. Obviously, Shevchenko has already beaten her. But yeah, this fight, Silva, I've seen people online saying, oh, she was running the whole fight. There's 2 different ways to do it, okay? Was Silva running around the octagon, going back and forth? Yes, she was. But she was inflicting damage. She was, her and Shevchenko did a similar style of fighting in both their fights. But Silva, not that Shevchenko wasn't able to inflict damage, but Silva wasn't just sitting and waiting. She was going. She would hit her with some shots, get out of the way. Complete masterclass. Grasso, again, had nothing to offer. I think Silva is next in line for your women's flyweight title shot. Moving up the card. Boy, this one, I did not do good for picks this card. I'm telling you that right now. We have Jose Aldo versus Ayman Sahabi. First round, clear Aldo round. Aldo outstruck him. You could tell the power differential between the two. Second round, Ayman Zahabi comes back. It's a very competitive round. Don't get me wrong, very competitive second round. But I gave the second round to Ayman Zahabi because he was pressuring more and throwing more volume. Aldo was landing, but you could tell after the first round, Aldo was tired. And that's been his problem here recently, is the cardio. Going into the third round, okay, I'm like, okay, it's 1-1 going into the third. Aldo comes out strong, hard, and fast. so hard he comes out. Pause. Clips Amin Zahabi, hurts him badly, has him stumbling all over the cage. Aldo's chasing him down, hitting him. I think at one point he kicked him in the face, kneed him in the face, hit him with shots, dropped him completely. I'm assuming it was some, like, I went back and watched that sequence again. He's not, like, yes, he's throwing good power into these strikes, but I want to say it was no more than 10 strikes total. You should not be gassed out after throwing 10 strikes. He was absolutely gassed out. I'm assuming it was an adrenaline dump. That's the only explanation. He thought he was going to be able to get the finish and retire in the cage. He got all excited. It happened right at the beginning of the round. If this would have happened towards the end of the round, I think even if what Zahabi did to come back would have happened, I think Aldo would have been able to control most of the round where he still would have won it. But, he did all his damage within like the first minute and a half. Zahabi survives because Aldo gasses himself out. Aldo's looking up at the clock. There's like 3 minutes and 30 seconds left. I think around the 3-minute mark, Zahabi is able to get Aldo down. I think Aldo shoots in a takedown and gets reversed, if I remember correctly. I think that's what happened. And then just stays on top and just smashes him with elbows, cuts him open, busts him badly. Aldo was just holding on for dear life, trying to survive for like 2.5, 3 minutes of that last round. I gave the third round to Amin Zahabi to win. Rounds 2 and rounds 3. Aldo retires in the cage, says he doesn't have it anymore, and I agree with him. Honestly, I really do. Essentially, kind of what we learned is he did not want to make the cut to bantamweight, and he didn't think he'd be able to get this fight at featherweight unless it was a last-minute type deal. And I know I've said it. I think I was making videos when he fought Mario Bautista. I'm pretty sure I was making videos then. Yeah, because that was this year. Nonetheless, I've noticed since before Aldo retired the last time, and when he came back, his fighting style has changed a lot. So when he retired last time, he went out and did, how many boxing matches did he do? I want to say he did 2 or 3 boxing matches. I know he did one against Jeremy Stevens. He did one against, I think, some random guy. There might have been a third one I don't really remember off the top of my head. I didn't watch any of them. During that time, he's just training boxing. When he comes back to the UFC, he's primarily just boxing. And he's kind of has almost the same game plan going into all the fights. Like, he's just looking for good power shots, KO shots, not really high volume, not really throwing any kicks. He'll throw one in every once in a while, but he's not really mixing in kicks. And again, in this fight, he did not mix in his kicks. He did not do. It's almost like he just wanted to go out there and do boxing and MMA. That was kind of what he was doing. And he was doing good at it. I mean, he was doing good in this fight. Was he getting tagged up in the third round? Majorly, yes. Second round, a little bit, yes. But if it wasn't for this stupid mistake in the third round, Aldo could have retired on top. I'm honestly, as much as I love watching Jose Aldo fight, could there be some fun fights left for him in the UFC? Yes. I think they're, at featherweight. Hell, even at lightweight, there's probably some fun fights for him with some veterans. But, if he doesn't have it in him anymore, good for him for retiring. Will he go on to do some boxing? Maybe. I could see it for a payday. But yeah, sad to see Aldo go out on a loss to Amin Zahabi. Because Amin Zahabi's not good. I don't think Amin Zahabi's that good. He has heart, yes. His striking didn't look that good in this fight. It didn't. I'll give him heart. He's got heart. Moving on. Co-main event. Honestly, low-key, this fight was boring as fuck. We have Valentina Shevchenko versus Manon Fiorot. I got the pick wrong. I scored the fight for Manon Fiorot. I haven't went back and watched the fight. I am going to break down these judges' scorecards because the scorecards were absolutely ridiculous. So, going round by round. First judge, Sal D'Amato. First round for Shevchenko. That's what I scored for. I scored the first round for Valentina Shevchenko. She hurt Manon Fiorot bad, busted her up. had her nose gushing. I thought that was a clear Valentina Shevchenko round. So I gave the first round to Shevchenko. Second round, Manon Fiorot comes back. You know, I thought honestly that, oh, maybe she quit. Like, she kind of looked like she was defeated after getting busted up in the first round. I didn't think she was going to come back in that second round. She did. She came back strong. Oh, fuck me, I'm tired as fuck. Came back strong in that second round. I gave Manon Fiorot for Manon Fiorot, I gave her the second and third round. Third round was really close. So Mike Bell or Sally Amato, okay, he had second and third round as well for Manon Fiorot, and he had rounds 4 and 5 for Shevchenko. Fourth round, I gave to Shevchenko. But I thought the judges were going to give it to Manon Fiorot based on, was it the fourth round? I think it was the fourth round. Shevchenko landed like 2 spinning back kicks and some other good strikes as well. But Fiorot was constantly pressuring forward and landed good knees to the body as well. I thought for sure the judges were going to give Fiorot the third round, but actually, or the fourth round, actually none of the judges did. So maybe I was just crazy thinking of that live. So, currently I have it, going to the fifth round, I have it 2-2. I have Valentina winning the first round and the fourth round, and have Fiorot winning the second and third round. Going into the fifth round, I'm like, okay, Fiorot's been able to out grapple her essentially the whole fight. Outside of the first round where Shevchenko was able to get her down. Fiorot's not really shooting for takedowns, but she's been able to hold her up against the cage. The second through the fifth round. She wasn't able to do it in the first round, but the rest of the rounds, you could tell a clear difference in strength. I mean, I know by looking at them, you kind of can tell, this one's probably stronger than that one. But in the clinch, Fiorot was way better in the clinch than Shevchenko. I think a couple of times when they would disengage, they would both land good shots. Fiorot mainly getting the better when they would disengage. But then in that fifth round, in my eyes, it was kind of the same as the fourth round, where Valentina landed like 2 solid shots that stung Fiorot, but she didn't let it, at least to the outside looking in, she didn't let us think that it affected her, that bothered her, and she kept pressing forward. So I scored the fifth round for Manon Fiorot. She was constantly pressing forward, constantly throwing shots. When she would get in the clinch, she would push her up against the cage. She would light her up with knees to the body. I scored the fifth round for Manon Fiorot. I thought she beat her. Maybe I'll go back and rewatch the fight. Maybe I won't. But in reality, yes, Shevchenko, based on damage, should have won the fifth round. But I didn't think the judges were going to give it to her. So that's why live I tweeted it out. I thought Fiorot won the fight. Very boring fight. Shevchenko, this is what I was talking about earlier about Silva and Shevchenko, where they kind of both had similar game plans, where Shevchenko just wanted to counter-strike the entire fight. She would just wait for Fiorot, and it worked really good in the first round. Not as much in the other rounds. She would wait for Fiorot to advance, throw something, and then she would counter. And she was just standing there, bouncing up on her toes a little bit, like Alex Morono, bouncing up on her toes a little bit, wait, counter. That's all she would do for the majority of the fight. Very boring women's MMA fight. Honestly, very boring, very lackluster. Let's see Valentina Shevchenko versus Natalia Silva next. Give us that fight. Easter egg, little hint for my fights to make video. That's going to be the fight to make. Valentina Shevchenko versus Natalia Silva for the women's flyweight title. That should be a sign of fight. I think Silva will make that fight exciting, regardless of what Valentina does. But nonetheless, Valentina is the greatest women's flyweight to exist thus far, in the UFC at least. Moving on, main event. Boy, was this a good fight. I will mention real quick, the judges for Shevchenko and Fiorot. I do actually want to briefly go over the scorecards real quick, because the judges, I'm pretty sure they were all different scorecards. Yes, they are. So first judge scored it how I should have scored it. He gave Valentina round 1, 3, or 1, 4, and 5. Guy Gerard scored rounds 1, 3, and 4 for Shevchenko. and 2-5 for Fior. And okay, I guess Chris Lee also had it 1-4-5 for Shevchenko, so that wasn't that bad, I guess. But anyway, moving on to the main event. This was a really good fight, honestly. This was honestly a really good fight. We have Bilal Muhammad versus Jack Della Maddalena. JDM becomes your new welterweight champion. He bullied the bully. He bullied Bilal Muhammad. He beat Bilal Muhammad up. I didn't think he was going to do it. Honestly, I really didn't. I didn't think he was going to quit, and I said that in my video I made. I didn't know if he could go 5 hard rounds with Bilal Muhammad. And for Bilal Muhammad, I think he made a lot of mistakes in this fight. I really do. You know, he in the lead up to this fight, he was talking about, I'm going to use my Canelo hands, and I'm going to box JDM up. And was he boxing JDM up? Yes. But that's not where he's best. His path to victory in this fight was to rob him. Shoot nonstop takedowns. You know, he was complaining to his coaches that he couldn't get the takedowns, that JDM was really slippery. It's like, dude, yeah. You guys are both slippery as hell. You're fighting. It's like I think the first round, and maybe I don't think he shot a takedown until like towards the end of the second round. He should have been just shooting takedowns. If you have JDM constantly defending takedowns, you're going to be able to, you know, fake the takedown and throw some shots up top and hit him. But he didn't really do that. Most of the fight, he was striking with JDM. JDM even came close to getting some takedowns at some moments. Let's break down the judges' scorecards real quick, which I think, yeah, I don't think me and any of the judges have the same scorecard at all. This is weird. So first judge, Mike Bell, gives Bilal Muhammad the first round. I thought the first round clearly went to JDM. JDM landed the better shots. JDM busted Bilal Muhammad up. Outboxed Bilal Muhammad. Head movement. His movement looked really good all throughout this fight. Even somewhat in the 5th round, but especially in the first 2 rounds, JDM looked really good. I gave the first 2 rounds for JDM. I mean, he was able to negate the grappling that Bilal was implementing mainly in the 2nd round. Completely outstrike Bilal. I gave the 3rd round to Bilal. I think Bilal was able to implement the striking more effectively than he had in the previous 2 rounds. The 3rd round was close. I'm not going to act like it wasn't close. The 3rd round was close. But I just leaned Bilal. I thought it was pretty close as far as they both landed very effective strikes. But I thought Bilal pressured more. So I gave Bilal the 3rd round. I also gave Bilal the 4th round. You know, I thought he kind of did more of the same, what he did in the 3rd round and the 4th round. It was a very close competitive round, but I thought Bilal had better pressure. But, you know, throughout all of this fight, both guys landed good shots. Bilal was throwing down. Definitely made it a fun, exciting fight. Both guys did. And the 5th round was absolutely crazy. So my scorecard is I have the first 2 rounds for JDM. The 3rd and 4th round for Bilal Muhammad. Going into the 5th round, winner takes it. And right away, JDM's going out there hard and fast. Going for Bilal, trying to get him. It's kind of a back and forth where JDM wins the beginning of the 5th round. Bilal kind of doing his thing, going back and forth. Although JDM was getting, you know, landing the better power shots in the 5th round than Bilal, especially towards the end of the round. There was a moment, I want to say it was at like 3 minutes, where Bilal got JDM down, and I thought, oh shit, is he going to be able to get back up? Because he was busting Bilal up, but Bilal got him down early enough to where if he held him down for that rest of that round, he would have won the round. JDM was able to work back up to his feet. Good for him. He did that twice, I think, in the 5th round. Yeah, I think he's only going to take down in the 2nd and then 2 in the 5th. Bilal, that is. So, yeah, JDM gets back up to his feet. And then after he gets up from the last takedown, I think there was like 30, maybe 40 seconds left. And he's just going for Bilal. And don't get me wrong, Bilal was throwing back in that 5th round. but JDM was clearly landing the better shots. Stung Bilal, I think 2 or 3 separate times in that 5th round. I don't think he was wobbled, but he was definitely hurt. But I'm giving Bilal props here. When he was getting stung with those shots, he was still marching forward. He was not backing down. He wasn't like, "Oh crap, I just got hit with this shot. It kind of hurt me. It kind of stunned me. Let me back up. Let me kind of read the situation." I think Bilal knew as well he needed the 5th round to win the fight, so he was trying to go forward, trying to get that. But yeah, after the 5th round was over, I thought it was very clear that JDM won at least 3 of the rounds. I think one judge gave JDM 4 rounds. Yep. So I'll just go over the judges' scorecards real quick. Mike Bell had the 1st and 4th round for Bilal, and the 2nd, 3rd, and 5th for JDM. Eric Colin had the only round for Bilal was the 4th, and the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 5th round were for JDM. And David Theron had the 1st and 4th round for Bilal Muhammad, and the 2nd, 3rd, and 5th for JDM. So Mike Bell and David Theron had identical scorecards. Somehow I had it 2-2 going into that. Well, I guess 2 of them had it 2-2 going into that 5th round. But I thought it was pretty clear 1st round for JDM. Like, I don't see what these judges are seeing. Like, he was popping Bilal with good shots in the 1st round. Bilal really didn't land much in that 1st round. I thought it was a clear JDM round. Afterwards, which I don't like that they did this, they have, already telling JDM Islam's moving up, which we kind of knew this was going to happen. I wanted to see Islam versus Topuria, and I did see, I'm pretty sure it was a real tweet from Islam saying he's going to go up, he's going to fight, he's going to, if this was before this fight happened, if JDM wins, he's going to fight him, beat him, and then he wants to go back down and beat, whoever. I'm assuming they're going to put an interim belt on the line at International Fight Week, Ilya versus Charles. But will he go back down? Most of the time, when fighters win, they don't go back down. Obviously, Volkanovski went back down, but he lost twice. Badly, the 2nd time. So, and I'm going to give you a little early prediction for JDM versus Islam. I'm going JDM. I think JDM's younger. He was able to defend the takedowns from Bilal. Looked good with his kicks. He was throwing kicks that were not going to get him taken down, and he wasn't being sloppy about them. He was throwing good kicks to the body of Bilal. And throughout this fight, if I'm being honest, I think for the majority of the fight, I think JDM looked fresher than Bilal did. So yeah, really good performance from JDM. He's young. He's 28 years old. He's only a year or 2 older than me. Looked really good in this fight. Can't wait to see JDM versus Islam. Again, I'm going JDM. As of right now, unless I change my mind, I'm going JDM. The first Volkanovski fight with Islam, he's fighting tooth and nail. Yeah, did he win that fight? Yes, he did. The fight with Dustin Poirier, was he clearly winning the fight? Yes. But it was a very competitive fight. And JDM has more power than Poirier does, is bigger than Poirier is. Same with Volkanovski. More power than Volk, is bigger than Volkanovski. I don't think Islam is going to beat JDM. He is very well-rounded. I think he's probably one of the most, outside of John Jones, I think Islam is probably the most well-rounded fighter on the UFC roster. I mean, he's got really good wrestling, good jiu-jitsu, good boxing, good kicks. He mixes it all really well. So I think it's going to be very tough for JDM to get the win over Islam, but I think he's going to do it. Let me know in the comment section down below. What did you guys think of UFC 315? What do you think? Early prediction for JDM versus Islam. Let me know in the comment section down below as well. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Drop a like on the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.